Hello out there. This is Crazybear. I'm glad that you got to view the introduction portion of this Junk in the Trunk episode. I found myself with a lot of information on the three different trunks that I was explaining what I carry with, but rather than cut any of that information out, I decided to go ahead and break it up into three parts. I don't know if a time issue is a concern, but this is how I chose to deal with it. The next episode is the trunk in the back. The episode after that will be the trunk in the front. And then the final episode will be the cargo bag and the cargo bag extension and what I carry in it. I had a lot of fun putting this together. I couldn't, in my heart, find a way of cutting any of it out without losing the total message. So I hope you enjoy, and if you have any comments, please don't hesitate to share. Thank you for your time, and I hope to see you out on the trail, so happy adventures to you. Okay, I'm going to start off with the trunk part of the ATV. This is the tow hitch that goes on the trailer hitch attachment for the ATV. The trailer hitch on the ATV is the same that's used on the truck. The 2x2 housing is a connection that fits onto the ATV, and it allows me to put regular trailer hitch on or tow hitches on it, which works good because in my yard, to move my ATV trailer around, I use the ATV to just move it around. So it's very handy that way. This tie down here is a catch-all, a saving grace type piece of material that I picked up and added to the ATV. I had been carrying these tow straps. I added this one here not too long ago because I was concerned about if I ever needed to winch out and use a tree. This is called a tree saver. So I can wrap this around the tree and hook my winch to the strap and not damage the tree. But this is my tow strap. It's 2 inches by 30 feet. It's up to 10,000 pounds. But I've always had it in the back, but I've never been able to come to terms with how I was going to use it, because this strap has some very healthy hooks, and there's just no place to hook it on the ATV unless you tie it up on the axle, the rear end, and that wasn't going to happen. So I had been carrying this strap around with me all these years, knowing that if I ever needed it, I had the equipment, but I didn't have the connection to make it work. So if I had to tow someone out, pull someone out of something, or tow someone back to their vehicle or to the road, I couldn't do it, even though I had the equipment on board. So by finding this and utilizing this configuration here, I am able to now help someone if they need help, or someone pull them out or pull them down the road. It wouldn't be that much of a problem to make this work. Now this tie down here has actually worked out really well for me because I use it to tie my ATV to the trailer, tie down to the trailer. That's my connection point, and it's been working really well. Since I've been using this system here, I don't have ATV movement on the trailer. When I take off, I tie it down. When I get there, it's somewhere else. That doesn't happen now with this. So I've been able to resolve my problem with my towing package, and I'm ready and I'm functional. These guys right in here are loop tie downs. They don't have any hooks on them. I like these. I use these when I put my lawn chairs and my folding tables down on my cargo bag extender. I just wrap it around and I cinch it down with the ratchet, and then I tie the rest like a rope. So these are very handy. I use them whenever I have my lawn chairs on board. This is what I use to anchor them down with. Plus, when I'm not using them, they're stored and they're carried on the ATV. If I ever come across anything or any need for one of these, rope is good, but these are great because you can ratchet down an incredible cinch. Wood. I once found a tent that was lost. It was all bundled up. It was one of those full-size tents with a floor and windows and everything on it, and I don't know how long it had been out there, but it wasn't wrapped up real tight, and it was fairly big, and I didn't have the tie downs to lash it down. I just didn't want to leave it there. And finally we jerry rigged some rubber tie downs that my son and I had, and I got it home. But now if anything like that happens, or if I want to bring wood home for camping, if we have a fire and I go out getting wood, I have a way of lashing them down. This is an emergency lash down type thing. I don't have any idea what I could possibly use it for, but I do know that it has a function that would be very useful if I needed something like this instead of something 15 feet and just needed something like this. I can't imagine what I would use it for, but God forbid. But if I did need it, I do have the ability of mending something. This is Velcro tape. It's just a roll. I could wrap it around and tie it down, and it'll get me back home. It'll get me back to the vehicle. So this is actually something that I've been carrying around for quite some time, and on an ATV, on parts, moving parts, and tie downs and securing things. This could be a real good band-aid. These are the tools that came with the ATV. I have not changed these around in any way. In this one here, I have 2 tire gauges, 2 spark plugs, spark plug wrench, suspension spanner. I have an Allen wrench key for star for the passenger seat for removal or tightening, and I have a pair of pliers with the screwdriver and Phillips head. Because really, this system riding here is for everyday riding, is basically all you really need. Then I have, just move this down a little bit. Then I have my son Bubba gave this to me. It's been very handy. I've used it several times. It's a rolling canvas bag that rolls up and fits in the trunk of my ATV. I've got a star point that fits several of the screws and bolts on the ATV, as well as being able to remove the passenger seat. This guy here is a pair of wire dikes. They're heavy metal, or heavy duty, I should say. I was in the Sawtooth Mountains this last summer, and I ran across a steel wire that was like a fence, but I only saw sign of one strand, so it led me to believe that it was an electrical fence, but it had been abandoned out there, and the wire was out there, and when I hit it, the wire caught up in my wheels and wrapped around my axle, and it took me, I did not have this on board with me. All I had was this, and this has got a wire cutter in it, but this was a 1/4-inch steel. It was steel, it wasn't barbed wire or anything like that, and I couldn't even bend it. I couldn't bend it to try and break it. It just would not bend. I don't even know if something like this would have been able to cut through it, but it took me over 3 hours to disentangle that wire from my ATV. I went and took the time to bundle that wire up as far as both ends I could go and put it into a place where someone like me wouldn't hit it again, or cows or elk or anything else would hit it. But if I would have had this on there, I probably would have been there an hour or maybe a couple hours. But the way it was, and all I had was this, which was useless. I wasn't able to, not useless as a tool, but useless because of the steel, the diameter, the wire. It was not functional. So I would suggest everybody or anybody have a pair of wire cutting dikes. There's going to come times where you can either cut the fence, go through and mend it, or go all the way back the way you came and come back around. And it's going to be up to you, but you have the tools to be able to make that happen. Horse riding, I used to ride horses a lot, and I always carried a pair of dikes. My uncles always saw that I was prepared, and it did come in handy. I did have to cut some wire and mend it when I went through, and it worked out really well. This is another star. There's just a different size. This is part of a set, but the ATV, they don't have a lot, not everything is standard screw or Phillips head screw. But we also have 2 different size Phillips head screws. And in this one here, it's got an assortment of metric wrenches. It also has a light with a magnet on it. Your batteries goes in there. It will stand while you're working. Works out really well. I've not had the opportunity to use that, thank goodness. And I've got some fast ties. Okay, this is in my trunk. This is in the back of the ATV. I carry these with me. They're with me all the time. I never take them out. I never take the tools to work on my truck, or if I take them out to work on another ATV, they go back in where they're at, and they're never offloaded. They're never stored away somewhere else. They live on the ATV. Their assignments are, their address is ATV. Okay.
This is a 4-part series. In the next episode, Crazybear reviews the junk in his front trunk.